Okay, it's just kind of a demo and a video of the meter here that I'm selling. This is a peak reading watt meter. You can see its model number and serial number and everything. So I have the back of it off. I'm going to put in a new 9 volt. This only takes one 9 volt. So your bird meters take two, this takes one. Okay, so I put a new battery in. The back has two empty blank areas for some watt meter elements in case you had to store some instead of them just sitting around the shack. And then you have on the front you have a selectable switch here, so it really just depends on how you want to use the selection. If they're both forward like so, then it doesn't matter what it says, reflector forward, it's going to read forward, because as long as the RF comes in on this side, it goes out this side's reading. You'll get a reading. Obviously, if you have this backwards, then that's fine. You could have it like that, and you could have one over here and forward. So if you only wanted to look at reflection, you'd put a meter element in here that would be low, so you could read a lower level, that kind of thing. I think everybody knows how these work, but so that's how that works. Obviously, when the peak detection circuit's on, it lights up on. It does have a little bit slower decay time than what the bird meter does. That's the only caveat maybe that's different with these kind of meters. But I'm going to hook up a radio to it, and we'll just demonstrate. This is a 100 in here, so the watt meter element's not coming with it, just the meter. So the battery will stay in it. Okay, so for a demonstration, I have a Kenwood radio hooked up right now. It's going into a bird dummy load on the floor, and we have this radio in the full power setting, as you can see here. So peak is enabled. The switch is on the right meter. Line section showing the right meter. You have a dual line section in this meter, so we're looking at the one on the right, as you can see. Now if I decide to stop talking like that, now if we back that off, obviously there's a little bit slower decay time, so you can just simply shut that off. Now as we see, we're not reading any power through because we don't have a watt meter element in line there, so that's how that switch works. If you didn't know, it's pretty simple. We'll put this in reverse. So now what we'll see is very minimal movement because we're reading reflection, which on my dummy load really shouldn't be any. When you first power that peak circuit on, it does kind of charge up, and it will fall back into place. It just takes a little bit of time on the lower readings like this. I don't really know why you'd want to see peak on a reflected power, but there you go. There's your peak on that. So it's working fine. What we'll do now is put this in the other side. I'll show you that that's working too. We'll go start off, I guess, the same test in the reflected mode. So we'll just kind of let that fall back and wait a second before we transmit. So now I'm transmitting. You can also see my LP in the background is still registering power because the power sensor is right before the input to the dummy load, so that's still going to register power even though we can't really see it. It is running in the background. So there's the reflected power on this side, and next to nothing. As far as that goes, we'll go over to forward. Whoops, I'm sorry, we wouldn't have had anything there anyways because of the idea that we were in the wrong switch, so I was a little mistaken myself. But here we go. This is actually a more accurate test now because the switch is on the left side. So we switched the element, forgot to switch the switch. So there you go. Turn this around to read forward power like so. And there's your forward power like so. Now we can lower the power down, let's say to 50, somewhere in there, so it will read lower power now. And as you can see now, the meter's reading lower power, so it doesn't just go right to the corner unless 100 watts is detected like it should. So I'll lower this down just a little bit more. There's 25 right there, so somewhere around 25% of the radio's power, which looks to be about right. So as you can see, the peak circuit's working pretty good in this radio. We'll do one more test here for it. We'll go into the mode setting, Go to CW and we'll key, and you can see there. If we go to power, I can try to show both at the same time. Maybe as I raise it up, we're getting almost full deflection, and now we are. So you don't need peak on CW. As you can see, it's still 100. So if I lower it back down with the peak circuit disengaged, and as you can see, it's lowering down, and there's about our 10 right there. It's showing about 10, so it's working just the way it should. It's in pretty good shape. It's not brand new or anything, so it's not pristine, but it's not beat up. I don't really see any areas where paint has really come off of it or anything like that. So, you know, I'll take some pictures of it and put it on QRZ, but that's just a quick demonstration of the meter to show that it works, and I did put a new battery in it. 73.